Excellencies, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to join you all today at the inaugural session of this BIMSTEC Energy Conclave. I thank the Indian Chamber of Commerce and also IBCC for inviting me and congratulate them on this initiative. I understand that this follows up on the successful BIMSTEC Business Conclave organized in Kolkata in June 2023. BIMSTEC, as we all know, has completed 25 years of its formation last year. At the last BIMSTEC Summit in Colombo in 2022, the BIMSTEC leaders formally adopted the BIMSTEC Charter. With the adoption of this charter, we have accomplished BIMSTEC's transformation, in a sense, from a grouping of countries into a full-fledged regional organization that is focused on broad region around the Bay of Bengal for cooperative endeavors. Today, BIMSTEC has a distinct international legal personality. It has a permanent secretariat in Dhaka with a dedicated staff headed by the Secretary General. It also has a formal institutional architecture through which the organization conducts its work. In other words, BIMSTEC is now ready for collective action on a region-wide basis. The international system is going through challenging times, perhaps one of the most difficult in recent memory. Given the post-COVID economic challenges and also the current global uncertainties, there is need for strong regional action more than ever before. In this context, our regional cooperation under BIMSTEC assumes even greater importance. Connectivity in its wider sense is a natural focus of BIMSTEC cooperation today. That of course includes physical connectivity through transportation links that promotes trade, investment, and people-to-people exchanges. But it also includes energy connectivity, the theme of today's event, as also digital connectivity. One of the priority areas of BIMSTEC cooperation is to enhance energy cooperation and expand electricity trade through the establishment of BIMSTEC grid interconnection. And we heard Secretary General give the details. An MOU for establishment of the BIMSTEC grid interconnection was signed at the 4th BIMSTEC Summit, and it provides a broad framework for all the member countries to cooperate in implementing grid interconnectivity with a view to promoting power transmission and electricity trade in the BIMSTEC region. The grouping is also exploring the possibilities in developing policies for transmission, trade and exchange of electricity. Such initiatives have the potential to diversify sources and means of supply of energy to each participating country, thereby enhancing energy security of the whole region. Friends, India-Bangladesh relations are an important anchor of the cooperation architecture of the BIMSTEC. India-Bangladesh relations have themselves undergone transformative changes under the visionary leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina over the last decade. And one of the key manifestations of that transformation has been the growth in our trade and economic engagement and our connectivity links. A hallmark of our ever-deepening relationship is also our growing cooperation in the field of power and energy. And we heard some of the examples of that transformation, some of the projects, some of the collaborations that we are doing. An important example, of course, is the recently launched India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline, which has been fully funded by India and was inaugurated in March this year by our two Prime Ministers. The pipeline is today operational with a capacity to transport 1 billion metric tons per annum of high-speed diesel to Bangladesh from a refinery in Assam in India, which provides a sustainable, reliable and cost-effective way of transporting high-speed diesel with minimal carbon footprint. This is the first such cross-border pipeline between India and Bangladesh. It has the potential to change the energy landscape in northern Bangladesh, and we hope will help fuel further development in the region. Through our concessional financing programs, the Government of India has also taken up some critical infrastructure projects in power and energy sector in Bangladesh. These include the 1320 megawatt Maitri Super Thermal Power Plant at Rampa, the transmission lines for power evacuation from the Rupur Nuclear Power Project, the 400 kilovolts transmission line project from Barapapuria to Bogura to Kaliakwai, the LED street lights project in Chattogram, and the Madarganj 100 megawatt solar power plant project in Sheikh Hasina Solar Park in Jamalpur in northern Bangladesh. Another important bilateral project that has the potential to revolutionize intra-regional electricity trade and which is under discussion between our two countries is the proposal for a 765 kilovolt cross-border electricity interconnection between Katihar, Parbatipur and Bornagar through Bangladesh. This project can be an important starting point to develop a synchronous and robust grid interconnection in the sub-region. This will facilitate trade of power in the sub-region, enabling seamless exchange of power between energy surplus and deficient regions. More importantly, such interconnections would also help drive investments in the renewable energy sector, promoting generation and transmission of clean energy in the region. While India is facilitating trade of electricity between Nepal and Bangladesh through the existing interconnections, the capacity of such trade is limited due to the saturation of the existing cross-border transmission lines. The future therefore lies in the development of more cross-border electricity interconnections that can facilitate intra-region exchange of power. Friends, the mainstay of better integration, better trade and better people-to-people relations in the region is better connectivity. Our own South Asian region has long been regarded as among the less connected ones. However, we are beginning to change this connectivity landscape. Connectivity cooperation between India and Bangladesh towards multimodal linkages stands at the forefront of our sub-regional connectivity aspirations under BIMSTEC. We have revived the age-old connectivity routes, including restoration of 5 of the 7 pre-1965 railway linkages, and are operating 3 cross-border passenger trains along them. Similarly, today we have cross-border buses operating from different routes connecting Bangladesh with states of India. We also have a protocol on inland waterways, trade and transit, and a coastal shipping agreement in place. Connecting our northeastern region with Bangladesh to allow our economic engagement to flourish between northeastern states and Bangladesh is another key focus. We are thankful to Bangladesh to allow cross-border connectivity with northeastern states using Chittagong and Mongla ports that will further deepen our regional economic cooperation. On the trade front, even though the BIMSTEC region has a combined GDP of nearly $3.6 trillion today, intra-BIMSTEC trade still remains limited to around $75 billion. We must therefore accelerate our efforts to boost intra-BIMSTEC trade and economic ties. The development of network of regional supply and value chains will reduce our vulnerability to external shocks and give our economies greater resilience and transparency. Building a robust physical, energy and digital connectivity will facilitate this transformation. We should enhance exchanges between the entrepreneurs and startups of our communities. At the same time, we must also work on a more ambitious trade facilitation agenda by adopting international norms in the field of trade facilitation. This will help in promoting intra-BIMSTEC trade and economic integration. India and Bangladesh, on their part, have taken several important steps in the last few years in improving the cross-border trade and immigration infrastructure that would facilitate easier flow of goods and people. Efforts have been made to improve and upgrade the infrastructure at 36 land custom stations, which now includes 5 modern integrated checkposts for augmenting cross-border economic activity. Digital connectivity is another emerging dimension of our connectivity agenda. The 12 high-tech IT park projects in 12 districts of Bangladesh, which are being taken up under our concessional line of credit, is an example of the new focus on digital connectivity. We are also in the midst of a program for exchanging 50 startups from both our countries, in line with our bilateral commitment to promote collaboration in digitization, innovation and entrepreneurship. During the recently held Bangladesh Startup Summit, Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh inaugurated an India-Bangladesh Startup Bridge, which will provide an institutional gateway for our startup communities to engage closely with each other to explore knowledge sharing, niche markets, and business collaborations. Friends, before I conclude, I would like to once again reaffirm that BIMSTEC is unquestionably a crucial link in connecting South and Southeast Asia. As our Prime Minister has noted, BIMSTEC has emerged as a promising regional grouping to fulfill the common aspiration of its people and serve the shared interests of its member states. The origins of BIMSTEC and India's journey as one of its founding members have a contextual rationale. Our Neighbourhood First policy and our Act East policy, both of which are the cornerstone of India's foreign policy, intersect at BIMSTEC. India remains strongly committed to further building the momentum towards deepening the BIMSTEC regional cooperation under its framework and will work closely with Bangladesh and all BIMSTEC partners towards making the organization stronger, more vibrant and resilient, and more effective and result-oriented. The main challenge before officials, policy analysts, scholars, and business chambers like yours is to help governments identify specific activities and policy actions that can be collectively undertaken by BIMSTEC governments to deliver real development to our peoples. Conclaves such as the one organized today are important platforms to deliberate and help identify clear actionable points. Once again, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you. I wish you all a very meaningful and successful deliberation. Thank you very much.